love to see the boys there do something. Shout outs to Addy over in Korea, the real vibe.
Wave is coming right now, because why is he here? Azir should have already one-shot this wave. They won't have time to get this tower now.
True.
But if they did this play like a minute ago, they would get 2 towers with enemy having no counterplay. Instead, Jason Yon starts wasting time, so you have to take it with a grain of salt, like these guys are just too bad. But if they're already bot now, because they just phased after taking that wave, the game is so good.
Progressing the...
Now, at this point, we enter mid-game.
Hey, what was that?
The first Drake, I really liked. I thought, the first Drake, everything they did made sense. Veigar is spacing, and he buys his items. On an earlier episode, when Velia was playing Maokai, in this situation, he did Wolf and then Grump after. I said to him on the review, I don't like that. I think you should always do one of 2 things. Skip these camps and immediately hit Drake. The benefit of this is you finish Drake faster, which means you can go for things like Raptor respawn. If this was a minute earlier, like he's a bit delayed, but if this was at 5 minutes, because Drake spawns before Grubs, he can then go into Grubs after doing Drake if he does it on spawn. Which, if you do the camps first, you can't do that as well. In this game, again, because it's a minute late, you can't do that specifically. Another benefit is Jhin here can immediately just hit this, and it's not going to lose too much by leashing, so it speeds up his game a lot, and in this case lets him invade Raptors. If he does this into this, the problem becomes Skarner can hit the Grubs and start contesting you as you're starting the Drake and hitting it. So, I really like him rushing it, as enemy jungler is doing the Grubs. Makes a lot of sense. He gets a nice leash as well to help him. So now he's finished with Drake already, while this guy's still hitting Grubs. So, good play. He then gets the Raptor respawn as well. And now gets a nice individual lead, which is always good when you're playing Veigar versus Skarner. Now, the next Drake did not make any sense whatsoever. We are in our bot side. Dragon is up in 1 minute. As Velia here, in my opinion, as Velia, the entire game plan here should be, enemy has 3 Grubs. If we give 6 Grubs, we need to get Dragon. Okay? That's just how it is. I don't mind giving 6 Grubs. I think in this particular game, Grubs is useless, basically. Enemy is playing Rumble, Victor. Rumble versus Galio. Rumble is not really going to be hitting the tower anymore. Victor versus Orianna. Victor is not really going to hit the tower. We already talked about how they're playing Viego, Bard, and Galio. Really good champions at making picks on side lane. Misfortune is not like Caitlyn or Tristana or something like this either. So, in my opinion, win condition in this game is Soul, your team fight is really strong, and enemy team's team fight is really strong as well, so every dragon you take away from them is denying them a potential Soul fight as well. So, why am I saying all of this? Well, if you look at Velia's decision making, and he does this mistake quite a lot, if we want to play for dragon that's spawning, removing your incoming top camps should be the top priority. You do not want to give your top camps and Grubs. If you're giving something, it should be Grubs for Drake, not your top camps. So you'll see Velia ends up wasting a lot of time. He starts running around and hovering people. There's no point in hovering bot lane here. Yes, we know Skarner is bot. Take a look at this. There's no point to be bot. Jhin can just chill. Wave is slowly going to come into him. There's no point to go bot lane. Covering for this is useless, because then Viego would have to stand here forever. Like, so long time. It's not worth it. Viego could already be finishing this now, and then base and combat. It's much better play to do. Next thing, Baus, beautiful proxy. Very good. I really like proxying when you're doing this. I said it before, I think great strength of Baus is that he's willing to proxy. He knew Skarner was bot side, and he does this proxy. This makes it very easy to walk up like this and contest this mid wave. If you now get ganked as Orianna, you have a Galio with a free timer that can cover you. Nemi knows this, so he plays very far up and gets the wave for free. Beautiful. In a different game, maybe Skarner tries to gank Ori here, but then Orianna has Galio. But now you'll see Velia is like, oh, I don't want to fight, I don't have Kraken, this guy is so tanky, they have Liandry on Rumble, I don't want to fight the Grubs. But that's my whole entire point. If he just already did this, he could come now with Kraken and just do the dragon. And it would be much cleaner. They still end up getting Drake, and Jhin comes here with Collector, and Galio again drops a wave to come. Enemy Rumble has no TP, Galio drops this whole wave to come to Dragon. But like I said, if Velia did what I said, this position wouldn't happen, and probably Baus wouldn't have to drop wave like this. So overall, nice play from the Baus to drop the wave. Honestly, I think it's mega worth. You're playing Galio, you're already farming a lot, you are getting your Mobies. I would also drop the wave there. It makes a lot of sense. But Velia needs to fix this, that he loves to waste a lot of time right before objective is coming. It's hurting him a lot. Next dragon situation starts from here, in my opinion. So, Jhin pushes. This makes sense. Bard bases, gets new wards. Now, when you're Jhin in this situation, when you're crowning, if you're gonna go for this honey fruit, you should then just stay bot lane. Because Galio is shifting down. Take a look at Galio. Galio got the top wave. If you're Baus here, if you have TP up, you can stay top. But he doesn't have TP up, and wave on mid is already happening. So Baus does another really smart play. I think this whole game, Baus' movement on the map has been really good. But what I don't want to see is Jhin, who's next to the Orianna, who's pushing bot wave, who's next to Viego and Bard, who can cover on bot wave. The Jhin leaves bot lane to go to the mid wave that Galio can catch. Jhin should always now stand here, play some traps, stand in the bush next to Ori. Galio can always handshake this wave, and if a fight breaks out, Galio can come with ulti. Instead, we have two people on mid wave, and now Orianna, who has all the rights to bully and play aggressive here. It makes total sense what Nem is doing, but now it starts to become a bit scary because his team is like leaving him. So you see, now Jhin kind of realizes, which is good. But like I said, like he should just stand here the entire time and then just let Galio shift down. Good move by Baus. This now creates pressure. They get both push on both sides, both mid lane and bot lane. That's very good. So the start of the setup is really, really nice. Now, the thing I really did not like is that Nemme is smurfing really hard here. Look at Nemme. What Nemme is doing here is beautiful. When you're playing a control mage, you have flash up and you're outranging enemy team. The only range they realistically have is Equalizer from Rumble or Victor E. Okay, at this point of the game, Victor E is not a better ability than QW from Orianna. So Nemme knows all of this. Nemme knows he has flash. If Alistar decides to flash on him, he will just trade flash for flash and Alistar will lose ult in the process and all his health. Nemme is holding this tribush and poking enemy team. It's really well played by Nemme. My problem is, when you do dragon, and you know where enemy team is coming from. Look, Galio's coming here, you see Alistar, you see them here. You know they are approaching from bot side, right? So, if this is a champion like Akali, if this is a champ like Akali that could flank here, then it makes sense to take the fight here, and not just get flanked by Akali like that. But when you know the MF is here, and you know MF's teammates are here, you need to put this dragon here, so that your team can stand and help the Orianna contest this. If you make this area a zone that Orianna is just poking, and Jhin is like ulting you down here, Galio is casting Qs, Galio can taunt everyone that tries to enter through here, you can still hit the dragon, but have much better way of helping Orianna poke. Because they kind of give so much space, it's harder for Nemme to do his job here. He still lands a beautiful shockwave, he's still smurfing out of his mind here, this whole sequence, but it's a much worse situation than what it should be. This should be like impossible for enemy team to do anything. And Bard is like so far, Reckless is stunning the dragon too, it's a bit funny. It's just bad mindset that we let them enter, if it's really insane. Especially if we consider what has happened earlier in the game, which we will go back to once we're done talking about dragons. Victor has no flash on Rumble, no flash on MF, and we are just entering River as 5 people. Versus Orianna with Shockwave. Orianna with Shockwave, and they are allowed to enter. That is crazy. So, hit the dragon, be here, and poke them. If you're not willing to take a fight here, then you shouldn't be hitting dragon. Victor here, they tried to go for him because he has no flash. It makes sense. This play makes sense. But the clock is ticking. Dragon is up in 1 minute. Right now, what I want to see is Galio to push side lane, shift into this area, Orianna to TP to Drake. Orianna can catch this one wave, no reason not to. That's fine, because we already lost this mid wave. But I don't like this. This is all useless. Look. You're Orianna, you have this vision. I want Bard and Viego to just make it down to Jhin, help the Galio, control this because Galio has push. Orianna can just catch the wave, and then TP to the Drake. Rumble is top, without TP. But now Bard is a bit delayed, Viego is a bit delayed, mid-wave comes, Orianna is recalling, this is Orianna's gold. In my opinion, Orianna should already be here with Bard and Viego now, because she should be TPing into wards that Bard is placing. And then enemy team is really cooked again. Because imagine here, you're this Alistar, and you're now face checking a Bard, Viego, and Orianna, and Galio. someone on enemy team has to face check. A 0 kills, 0 assists Skarner with bad farm is not tanky. This Skarner is not tanky at all. He will, like, die in a fight. So yeah, this sequence didn't make any sense. Orianna should be TPing, and Bard Veigar should be here to allow Orianna to TP out of top. Neme should not have to base and then run here. Because now again, they get the mid wave, but worst of all, they get to walk in. If they get the mid wave, they should still struggle to, like, walk in. They should be getting poked. So then now, this brings me to my next point. When this happens in your games, ask yourself the question, do we have to fight? Is this really where we want to send the game? We messed up, right? We messed up. We lost control. We weren't here in time. It's okay. Is this where we want to send the game? Because if you take a look at the game, you have 3 dragons. You give them this 1 dragon because you lost position. Are you going to lose the game? Really? I don't think so. I look at this game. Galio is still going to become very, very tanky and become a big problem as long as he builds the right items. Jhin has IE to look forward to and LDR to look forward to. Orianna has plenty of items and Victor is a complete NPC. Sonya's mercs this game? Are we serious? So, I really dislike this. That when we were late and we didn't capitalize on the position Galio already had, someone should make the call that, hey, this is 2 coin flip. We should just play topside. Just trade it. Get control over Revive Vatican, get the top turret, and play the game normally. This ended up with Velia stealing Dragon, and it went into a really cringe fight. As you can see, it's like really cringe. Alistar is like flanking behind you. We're all here. And it's not like they have a massive lead. I'm fine fighting here without control if there's like some massive lead. The game is like dead even on gold. You know? It's not like there's a massive gap somewhere. So I'm not comfortable playing a finals and sending it like this. It's way too like close for comfort, in my opinion. Rather than just cross-mapping and playing a better scenario where you will have control, you know? But, good steal. Good result. But good result doesn't always mean good gameplay. I talked about this from draft. It's very reliable to get Victor and MF's flash at some point in the game with Shockwave or Bard ult. And at this point, Victor overstepped and lost flash. I want this to be like a win condition for the whole team. The whole team should be thinking about this. How can we punish Victor having no flash? The way we punish it is not by pathing to Daboos and staying here topside. What is this? Victor has no flash. Velia has flash. Viego can use flash on Victor. Fast forward. Now, with the Viego having really bad tempo because of the top play, you see, like, his tempo is really bad, like he's here. I do not want to invade red right now. If Viego was here, yes, it's good. But this should not happen. When Viego is late, we should always take this wave. Unless we're already here. If we're not already here, we take another wave. Why? Because then Victor has to catch again. Victor never wants to drop a full cannon wave to defend a red buff. We have all their camps up, which LR knows. So, as Neme here, and as Viego, the full call should just be, just try to take the Raptors, Neme takes one more wave to force Victor to stay, otherwise this ends up happening. This is like too cringe. Now we're forced to stand all on top of each other here, which can give them really good, like, Alistar combo, Victor can E and W and R the entire choke. And the only real advantage you have here is you have a slight move on Jhin, and MF has fucking W, so can just run here. So I don't see why we're tunneling on the red when Viego is so late, when Orianna can just stand here and one-shot the wave in Victor's face, and then we have a way better timer to invade on, I think. Another point is, because of the good wards from Reckless, remember my point earlier. Victor is bot with no flash. So surely we can create full vision. For example, we can look to have a ward here from Orianna by having Bard and Viego hover him. And if Alistar is here, we can just fight the Alistar because we're going to end up seeing the Skarner. The moment we see Skarner, we should not be thinking about red buff. We should think about diving Victor on the next wave. We should be thinking about poking Alistar. The red buff is useless because now it's just going to be so cringe to fight. This is a terrible position to have to fight in. You all have to go this path. You can't have Jhin flank here. You can't have Orianna flank here. So you're all forced to stand on top of each other. And normally when this happens, this Victor is meant to be here catching cannon wave. So this was a terrible sequence. It's a miracle that it didn't just get aced on the spot. This was really, really scary. But the idea was good. I do like the idea to invade. You should invade or dive bot, but you should let Orianna push one more wave. And then if Skarner is hitting the red, you can just dive with the wave that Orianna is crashing. This was just pathetic, I think. So, believe it or not, LR ended up hitting Revive Atakan here. Why? I don't know. Orianna pushes bot lane. Makes sense. Nice, good play. Now Orianna joins her team. Orianna joins because she has a timer to play on, in my opinion. This Atakan is much easier to do, and Baron is easier to do when you can push the waves deeper, and there's more room for error from enemies because they don't have turrets for vision and safety, and you can easier get vision down. I don't see why Orianna's roam timer here isn't just us getting top turret and a nice vision line, like full wards here that we're protecting, and we push mid again, then Galio can push this deep, hover down to this, we can look to get tower with RFC procs from Jhin and stuff like this, and we at least have like proper map setup. But instead, they just hit the Atakan. Like, top turret is just free. Here we can just get top turret, nice vision line, go back to mid lane. Yes, Victor will get bot turret if he shows on the turret, but by the time he does that, he has lost his top turret. The rest of the team is here. We will threaten to hit the mid tower, while Victor is hitting this. It's not a good play for Victor to do this. But you see LR, they just start the Revive Atakan. This is game-losing play. It makes no sense. This is a terrible point to fight in when you haven't actually established real control, because enemy team is just moving in for free because, yeah, like, you didn't actually get control because you used your move to hit this tower and hit Atakan. Instead of just one-shotting tower, push again and get, like, better move, you know? Now, Nemme actually realizes this in-game, because you see, he's starting to try to get back to mid and try to zone them. But I think now Nemme is just trying to fix this bad play, but he's actually hurting the play by doing this. Yes, his team is trolling, but it's better now to just leash this and finish it and take the fight here, rather than do this. When he's doing this, he's making this take longer, which means, one, if they send MF here or someone here, they have more time to take this because this will take you longer. But also, if you make a fight happen here now, you're not really benefiting this, because if these guys have to drop the Atakan to help you, then we trolled the whole Atakan. So, yeah, it makes sense what Nem is doing, because he's just realizing this play is bad. But this play is more likely to work if he's just actually hitting it and helping. And if he was over here, getting all-ined by Alistar, that would be much better for the game. And again, if you look at enemy team's team comp, a lot of AoE, very like team fight heavy. So this setup really matters. And for LR, it's really important to have setup and poke with Orianna and Jhin before enemies like coming in, you know? If you take a full-on 5v5 where they drop Equalizer on you, Victor ult, MF ult, whatever, it's not that easy for LR to win. So that's why I really didn't like that sequence. After that, obviously, enemy team gets Nash. What I would like from Reckless here, there's no point to check Nash, because your team is dead. So if you see Nash and you see them doing it, you're not going to really change what you're doing. I think, when we assume enemies doing Nash, the play you have as the team that didn't get Nash is you push out one lane really deep, and you set up a lot of wards here, and by doing this, you can look for a play here. Maybe you can force a guy's sums. Maybe Rumble bases and goes bot, and he already has lost his flash. Maybe you can kill him. If you can disrupt their Baron play, that's really good. Instead, he's here, and now he's wasting a lot of time. Because now if I tell Reckless, hey, can you go and face check this? Now it's much scarier, because enemy team is already coming. But he could just, from base, already realize, hey, we just got aced. We are gonna lose Baron. So if he goes and places wards here, they might be able to look for a quick pick on someone. Or maybe they just see enemy coming, and then he can always just leave. But it's a good way to kind of deal with Baron, because if you do not do that, if you make no plays happen, your map will shrink, you'll get pushed into your base, and they will push your Baron, and now it's much harder. Because now if you try to go on Rumble and you try to go on people, they have easier way to connect. That's just how the map is designed. As you make it into your base, you're all together. That's why when they have to open up the map, the enemy team, and start pushing lanes, they're way more spread out. That's when you have to pounce and try to make a pick. So Veigar is the GOAT, he buffers the Skarner R, and then he just steals the Elder, and LR just wins.
Tu n'as rien fait pour chercher